Tell me the difference between these two phrases. Number one. Oh, you should just see so-and-so. They are so successful. They got out of college and got a great job, and they just worked their way through the ranks, and now they are doing so well for themselves. They must have $1 million. I am just so proud of what they have done with their life. Versus number two, can you believe that musician or that band? I can't believe they sold out. Now they are making music just for the sake of making money. Ugh, it is disgusting.
Sell out.
Okay, so the only difference between those two role plays, other than my tone of voice and facial expressions, are the fact that one person was successful in business and the other person was successful in music. And for some strange reason, here in America, we celebrate the success of everybody who buckles down and succeeds in life and makes lots of money and does this whole rags to riches story. We love those things, except when that person makes money through music. And then,
oh, cue the outrage.
That person is a disgusting, despicable, horrible person, and we reserve the worst possible insult for that musician or band, and that insult is
Sell out.
Hello, rock stars. Matt Vanderbo here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about what it means to be a sellout and why you should not be ashamed or embarrassed or run away from the fact that you are making music for money. Yes, this is a job. We are not making music out of the pro bono goodness of our hearts. If you are good at something, you charge for it. Just like an electrician that comes over to your house is going to charge you an hourly rate for their service, or if the plumber comes over, or a fix-it guy, or a painter, or a flooring guy, if they come over, you expect to pay them because they are the experts and they do a service that you cannot do, and they are good at it. So you exchange money for their services. We totally expect that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no one alive in this world that would look at a plumber and say, I can't believe they're charging money for their service. What a sellout. They should be plumbing out of the kindness of their own heart because they love the profession. No, we never say that to anything else other than music. So if I can go back in time, I became very familiar with the term sellout in kind of my high school, early college years. So this is mid 90s, late 90s through the early 2000s. And people would often use the term sellout when some of the big rock bands of the day, like Limp Bizkit, Nickelback, anytime they had a new hit that went to number one,
I liked them before they were sellouts.
So if I can chance a description of what it means to be a sellout and give you a little historical perspective. Now, I may get this wrong. I did not consult ChatGPT or the internet. This is all coming out of my own brain. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But there was a time when people would languish in relative obscurity, writing songs or performing to empty bars, trying to get good at music so they could eventually garner enough crowd support so they could make an album, sell the album,
Blah, blah, blah.
and they would spend years perfecting their craft with nobody really knowing who they were outside of their hometown. And then a few bands would go on to make a little homegrown album and sell enough copies that a record label would take notice of them, come out, check them out, and see if that band or that musician or songwriter was a marketable enough product that they thought they could sell millions of copies to the general American consumer base. And those record labels looked at the bands or the musicians as an investment, as you would with anything that you're going to sink money into. You want to not only get your money back out, but you want to make lots of money as a result. This is just standard investing, people. But what happened a lot of times is these bands would sign on to this record deal, and the record label, who really wanted to get the most bang for their buck, would pair them up with the best songwriters in the business or the hottest producers in the business to make sure that the music that they made from that point forward was guaranteed to be hits that would make lots of money. And so now you take this band that had been around for many years, making their own style of music, kind of just getting by, and now they get the record label money, but they also get the investment into the songwriters and the producers, and now their music is marketable to the entire population of, say, rock fans or country fans or fill in the blank type of music fans. And because the songs were so good at this point, they would go on to become #1 hits. I mean, you could just set your watch to it. If certain producers got behind a song, then it was almost guaranteed to go to the top of the charts. At which point, all of the fans that knew the band before they were cool would come out of the woodwork talking about how their music was
so much better before they started making music for money.
And I don't want to try to get into the heads of the psychology behind people that would use the term sellout as an insult. I suppose part of it might have to do with just general jealousy in watching another musician become super successful and make millions of dollars. Part of it could be that they knew the band in its infancy, and there is some type of cool factor to knowing about something that nobody else knows about. And then when everybody else does find out about it, you're like, oh gosh, people, I knew these guys way back before they were cool. Or there could be something else deeper going on. Like I said, I don't know the psychology of the fans who use the term sellout, but I do know what caused the term sellout to arise. And it was the fact that bands or musicians would start writing more palatable, well-marketable songs as a result of getting the massive investment from a record label. And then they would blow up because, of course, the songs were subjectively better than they were before. And like I said at the outset, there is something just special, I guess, about music in the fact that this is the only profession where people look down on others for succeeding. Just think about that for a second. No other profession in this world do you thumb your nose at someone and say, well, I liked them better when they worked at Burger King for free before they started taking a minimum wage paycheck. And here's my opinion on the state of affairs. You should not at all be embarrassed by the fact that you are trying to make music for money. And so in a certain sense, all of us composers for TV shows, we have to be quote unquote sellouts. And what I mean by that is we have to make exactly the kind of music that is being asked for by TV shows or production companies. If we don't make what they are asking for, then they're not going to use it and we're not going to get paid. So you have to give these people exactly what they're looking for, which is no different than a record label hooking a band up with a hotshot producer or songwriter to give the American listening public what they are looking for. In both situations, this involves musicians simply trying to make music that fits a need so that we can make money as a result. Now, from my earliest memories, I knew that I always wanted to be a musician at some level for a job. Like that's end all be all. And now it didn't matter. I wanted to be a rock star for a while, and then I wanted to be a professional trumpet player. And then I thought it would be cool to play in an orchestra, and kind of, my life took all these little different tangents in what I thought my music career would be. And as an end result, here I am making music for TV shows, which I never thought it would wind up here. But I always knew that I just wanted to make a living off of music in some form or another. And no, I did not want to play music as a hobby the rest of my life. I knew that I was good enough, well, I thought I was good enough anyways, to be able to market my skill in exchange for a paycheck. Now, when I was in high school, I made a little side change by playing taps on my trumpet at military funerals. I didn't get paid that much. It was like, $20-25, but now the song Taps isn't very long. It's about 15 seconds. So I suppose $25 for 15 seconds is a pretty darn good return, but I'd have to sit through the entire funeral of someone I didn't know. So maybe it wasn't so great, but nonetheless, nobody called me a sellout for playing taps in exchange for money. But anyways, I suppose that even when I was playing taps at military funerals, some a-hole out there could have probably called me a sellout, and that I should have been playing taps and sitting through hour-long funerals for free. So I guess you could say that I've been a sellout my whole life. But let me tell you this. Every single job that a person does We do it for the paycheck, okay? Otherwise, there would be no reason for anybody to work at Burger King or Subway or Panda Express or, I don't know, the local meat packaging facility. People do not do these, and I hate to use an offensive term, but people do not do these menial jobs for fun. The only reason we really work at all is so we can make money so that we can live the life that we want to live. This is the whole reason we go to college, is so you can get a degree and be more marketable and gather more money when you enter the workforce. There is nothing to be ashamed about if you are charging for your service, even if that service is music. So the next time you hear some teenager talking about how
Real Big Fish was an awesome ska band before they sold out,
why don't you meet that guy behind the counter at Wendy's and ask him if he's getting a paycheck for making hamburgers. And if he is, then call him a sellout too. He's working for money, just like Real Big Fish is working for money, just like any other punk or rock band or whatever, or just like us music composers for TV shows are doing. We do this as a job, and jobs need to pay money, especially if you are good at them. So I want you to disavow yourself of this idea that selling out is a negative. In fact, really you should take this as a compliment, because if the insult sellout is thrown against you, it means that you are making money, some amount of money anyways, for your craft of making music. So you are on the right path. Keep it up. Keep it up. Make more music and make more money. We should not be embarrassed or hide away from the fact that this is a career and a profession. If you are good at it, you charge for it. Well, there you go, people. So be proud of being a musical sellout, because it means you are giving somebody exactly the type of music that they are looking for, and you are getting paid money in return for that service. So let's all be sellouts together, shall we? I would love nothing more if all the viewers from my channel become the biggest group of sellouts known to the history of music. That would just be awesome. And then you please invite me to your party when you have your grand opening of your mansion. Okay, so now let's end this video on a joke. What did the marlin say to the swordfish? Hey, you're looking sharp. Hey, all right. Hey, it's football season. Go Broncos! Catch y'all rock stars later. Bye!